The call came at 6:42 a.m. No greeting, no hesitation. Why are we licensing the technology attack from her? The new CEO's voice was thin, controlled, afraid. I didn't answer. Outside my apartment, the city was still pretending it wasn't awake. I watched my reflection in the dark glass. Calm face, steady hands. He couldn't see that part of me anymore. He thought he owned everything now. Yesterday, he'd stood at the head of the boardroom table. My table. My code still running silently on every server in that building. "Your code is in my hands now," he'd said, smiling for the room. Then quieter just for me. "You're worthless now." Security escorted me out before lunch. They didn't take my badge. They didn't take my laptop. They didn't take the thing that mattered. People confuse access with ownership. By the time the CEO finished his victory dinner, I had already sent the company's head lawyer a folder. No message. Just one line in the subject. "Study this carefully." At 2:11 a.m., the lawyer opened it. At 6:42 a.m., the CEO called me. Silence stretched on the line. I let it. "Answer me," he said. "You already know," I replied and hung up. I had built that system during nights no one paid for, while my name stayed off press releases, while promises stayed verbal, while trust replaced signatures. And trust is where betrayal likes to hide. The conflict didn't begin with the firing. It began months earlier. Small things. Meetings I wasn't invited to. Commits approved without my review. A promotion announcement for her. My protege. My partner. The one who used to finish my sentences and touch my wrist when we argued about architecture. She stopped looking at me the same way. Started looking past me. I told myself it was stress. Scaling pains. Growth. That's how lies sound when you whisper them to yourself. Then the CEO arrived. New blood, new smiles, new hunger. I saw them together once, late. Glass walls, reflections overlapping. His hand too familiar on her shoulder. Her laugh too soft to be professional. I didn't confront. I cataloged. Dates. Access logs. Code branches that didn't belong to her. I smiled in meetings. Signed off on deadlines. Let them believe I was still loyal, still blind. Inside, something recalibrated. I began reviewing old agreements. Employment contracts, IP clauses, side letters, emails no one thought mattered anymore. I followed the trail backward to the first prototype, to the first server spun up under my personal account, to the nights when the company was nothing but me and caffeine and an idea no one else believed in. The deeper I went, the quieter I became. That scares people. They just don't realize it yet. By the time they fired me, the betrayal was complete. Personal, professional, intimate. They thought removing me removed the risk. They never asked themselves why I didn't fight. Because people who plan revenge loudly don't understand leverage. I pressed send. And now the CEO didn't wait for permission this time. "Talk," the CEO said. "Now." I let the silence bruise him. "You fired the wrong person," I said finally. "You should have read what you inherited." He exhaled sharply. Papers shuffled. I imagined him standing, pacing, trying to reclaim altitude. Men like him believe motion is authority. "The lawyer says the license predates the company," he said. "That can't be right." "It is," I replied, "because the company didn't exist when the core was written. I did." Another pause. "And she?" he asked. "She told us everything was internal." There it was, the fracture line. "She told you what you needed to hear," I said, "just like she told me." I remembered the night I found the access logs, her credentials opening branches she didn't build, her fingerprints on conversations she swore she'd never had, the way she'd said my name differently after the CEO arrived. Softer, like it belonged to someone else now. I never confronted her. I watched. I let her believe I was slow, grateful, replaceable. When the lawyer called later that afternoon, his voice was stripped of confidence. "She assigned company resources to modify licensed code without disclosure," he said. "If this goes public—" "It won't," I said. "You'll license it properly." The CEO called back an hour later. "How much?" he asked. "Enough to remind you," I said, "that worth isn't something you declare. He tried one last move. "You'll never work in this industry again," he said. I smiled. He still thought this was about employment. "I already am," I replied, "just not for you." By morning, the press release was drafted. Strategic partnership, founder-led innovation. My name returned to the architecture like it had never left. They didn't mention the affair. They didn't mention the breach. They didn't mention her. She texted me once. "You destroyed everything." I stared at the message, then deleted it. She had destroyed it the moment she chose proximity over principle, power over loyalty, him over truth. The company licenses my work now. Every deployment pings a server I control. Every update reminds them where the spine is buried. I didn't go back to the office. I didn't need to. Some victories are quieter when you leave the room before the applause starts. They thought I was worthless because they mistook silence for absence. But I was always there, under the code, inside the system, waiting for them to forget who built the door before they slammed it shut.